At the end of the previous episode, we were left gobsmacked when Helene tricked Eve into thinking they were going to capture Lars, when really she had ordered another assassin, Gunn, to shoot Villanelle with an arrow. We opened the episode and knock me down, she ain't dead yet. When the second half of the final ever season of Killing Eve opens, Villanelle is lying face down on a low thread count bedspread on a twin bed in a budget hotel room in a seaside town in decline. Face down because there remains an arrow protruding from her back, which will soon be removed by Pam, a mortician cum assassin whose practical knowledge of anatomy is limited to the already dead. In lieu of an anesthetic, Eve offers her a hand to grip. Even in her pained and punctured state, Villanelle makes some effort to refuse the traitor's touch. Good for you, Villanelle. Don't let the bastards grind you down.
I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2. Better just right.
An exhausted and disillusioned Villanelle wants to see the arrow, but more importantly, she wants Eve far away from her. This is the beginning of a major role reversal we've been used to in the last few episodes. Now, Villanelle was the one pushing Eve away, in denial of her desires, and Eve was finally giving in to the feelings she's been trying to ignore all season. After a lot of literal blood, sweat, and tears, Pam yanks the arrow out. While Villanelle was relieved, she was also distracted by the fact that Eve was being so attentive and even tightly holding her hand. We won't linger in gloomy Margate long. Oh goody, I'm the Winner is the first episode of the season to really feel like a spy show, with all agents urgently crisscrossing Europe in glamorous defiance of time zones and how long train journeys and immigration controls actually take. Constantine tells Villanelle that the Katniss Everdeen behind her maiming is Gunn, the same assassin he suggested she find in the last episode.
If you tell me who ordered my son's death.
Remember your father? There's always collateral damage. You of all people know that.
Not my son.
Tea's in the kitchen. 2 sugars.
Oh. So I'm making it, am I?
Eve admits it's her own fault because Helene was punishing her. Without hesitation, a visibly frustrated Villanelle tells Eve to get over herself, which is especially jarring to hear considering Villanelle would typically kill to have Eve so worried about her. Villanelle argues Helene ordered this arrow on her because she didn't follow through with killing Carolyn. Constantine points out that Gunn would have killed Villanelle if she wanted her dead. Therefore, she must have spared her for a reason.
Hey, Pam. I'm impressed. Just a flesh wound, which is insanely lucky.
It's not luck. If Gunn missed, it was intentional.
Did you get antibiotics for your ear infection?
Yes?
She's gonna need them.
What about my ear?
Who cares about your ear? Give them to her.
Are you going to apologize for shooting me?
She shot you.
Yes.
Barely. Just in the hand.
That is an extremely painful place.
Lars tells Carolyn he didn't order the hit on Kenny, and Carolyn tells him that Helene is the one hunting him. If Carolyn wants to know who killed Kenny, she'd have to do him a favor. He'll call Helene and set up a meeting, but instead of him showing up, it would be Carolyn. Knock me down with a feather.
How's it feel? She just gave me stitches with a sewing kit from my Christmas crackers. I'm serious, Eve. Go. You had me arrested. Trust me. I thought locking you away might be good for me. Was it? Suits you. Helen is going to try and kill you again. What are you doing? Good to go.
No, don't be ridiculous.
As the series draws to a close, coincidence plays a conspicuous role. For example, Fat Gun, a person we've never heard of and who lives in Scotland, would be, arguably, referenced in 3 different ways by 3 characters in 3 episodes, Constantine suggesting her as a lead, Helene contracting her to kill Villanelle, and Carolyn discovering a rare Caledonian peat moss in the vicinity of a murdered member of the 12. In the middle of all this madness, Pam is tasked with accomplishing her first kill. Her brother doesn't count.
Len thinks you're ready, but the first hit is never easy. Do you think you're ready?
Yeah.
When Villanelle wakes up from meatball surgery, she's annoyed to find Eve sitting vigil. The show has always been at its headiest, most electric best when they're together, but watching Villanelle reduced in this way, reliant on Eve to button her shirt and clear the skank strands from her face, robs the thrill. I thought locking you away might be good for me, Eve tells her by way of explanation. It's a good line, fine, but breakup by cop is detestable even by the bargain bin standards of modern dating. Crippled and isolated, Villanelle walks along the pier, and a motorized Eve sneaks up behind her and tries to keep things light. This fun banter is a little late, and comes across as annoying rather than charming. Villanelle doesn't want to hear about Eve's plan to burst in on Lars. She just wants to be alone. Fed up with the sudden attention, Villanelle yells at Eve to go. Startled, Eve walks away and leaves behind her scooter, which Villanelle reluctantly accepts. They finally part on the boardwalk, Villanelle on a motorized shopping cart scooter because they cannot stop dragging this woman down.
But we can't just walk away.
I don't care. I have my own stuff to do.
It's not gonna end.
Eve, just go!
The brakes are low.
Villanelle is visibly in pain on a bench, and a stranger, who is actually Gunn, offers her painkillers. After taking the medicine, Villanelle notices a handwritten note inside from Gunn that says Elaine might want Villanelle dead, but she doesn't. Also included in the cryptic message, an address to a hotel in Berlin. Intrigued, Villanelle calls Eve and tells her that Carolyn must be in Berlin because she's looking for Lars too. At this point, it would be easier to name the people not looking for Lars. In what's quickly become my favorite storyline, an avuncular Constantine tries one last time to warn Pam of this life of crime, but her commitment wavers only when she meets her first target, the generous, gregarious Fernanda, now supporting herself by handing out restaurant flyers south of the river.
Tasty tuna! Fiery beef! You a shy girl, yeah?
You sure she's the right person?
Yes. Why?
Well, she's nice. Well, do you know what she's done wrong?
No. We don't get to ask, and we don't get to think. Just have to do. It's not nice, but it is necessary.
She's just not what I was expecting.
This is the life you're signing up for. Walk away now. Or kill her. Your call.
Carolyn, you have a very large stride.
Funny, my father always said that.
You also have a nasty habit of scuppering my plans.
Yes. You want me dead?
Oh, that's nothing that can't be solved.
I'll watch my back.
I was so excited when I received last call. It was nice to be noticed, but you showing up now, that really is a treat. Are you one of us, Carolyn?
Well, that's the chit-chat done, so... Why are you targeting Lars?
Why are you doing his dirty work?
How do you know he's not doing mine?
Well, I don't. I want the name of his superior. He can give it willingly, or it will be taken by force. You're familiar with my work.
Yes. You seem to have a sort of foot fetish. It's a very nice touch.
Thank you. That means a lot from someone like you. Your father knew your father.
You're not. You are. You're Jacques' daughter?
I am.
My father loved him. You're not going to shoot me in the back, are you?
Oh, that wouldn't be very polite.
Good. We're learning.
It bothers Pam that Fernanda doesn't obviously deserve to die, but not enough to deter her. Pam did what she had to do if she wanted to make it as an assassin. Took Fernanda to an alley and stabbing Helene's ex with poison, killing her.
Thank you for being kind to me.
Lars, Jonah and Carolyn Janis have a head start, of course. They're getting to know each other again after all these years. Jonah still isn't over the fact his ex-girl tried to kill him, then dedicated her MI6 career to disabling his international crime ring because men are very sensitive. He's reluctant to play let's make a deal with a person whose most reliable characteristic over the course of her life is that she lies, over and over, to him and to everyone. So instead, Carolyn attempts to build goodwill, revealing Helene is after the 12 and even agreeing to rendezvous with her on his behalf. That meeting goes far better than a beating between a Mark and the person who ordered the hit has any right to go. Helene and Carolyn's fathers knew each other, Helene says. She's not a sentimental person, so one must assume she's appealing to Carolyn's sentimentality. She allows her to return to Lars with the price for sparing his life, the name of Lars' superior. Suffice to say, he does not like the terms, vowing to kill himself rather than betray the 12. That's a good sign for Helene, I think. She's worked her way sufficiently up the totem pole to the point where she encounters men who keep silent not for fear of consequences but for loyalty to a higher cause.
Why you not eat?
Pam and Constantine unwind at a roller rink, and he asks her why she's choosing this path. Pam says that Helene's the first person to believe in her, and she thinks it's something she can be good at. Pam returns the question to Constantine, who hilariously sums up his history with the 12 in a few words, saying, things kind of, snowballed. The mild guilt she feels after is easily appeased by Constantine's encouragement to seize what little joy there is in this washed out world. She makes out with the carny at the roller rink because murder gives Pam a shining, new swagger. Maybe that's how it worked for Gunn, too, and whoever came before her and before her and before her. Villanelle's unborn. They're made.
She seemed like a good person.
When this job get easy, then it's time to get worried.
Eve pulls up a moment too late, just as their meeting ends, which is such a spy show thing to happen. She tails Helene back to her hotel, where Villanelle is already installed under the bed, knife in hand, raring to murder. But when Villanelle hears Eve enter the room, she holds off long enough for Helene to give an implausibly thorough account of their sapphic encounters to date. The bubble bath, the kiss. This show is ordinarily so meticulously original in its kills. I'd never seen a person stabbed to death with a tent spike before killing Eve, but I've had nightmares of her behind the ankles / since watching Urban Legends at the Menlo Park Mall. Contrary to what I would have imagined, Helene hobbles around bow-legged, both Achilles tendons torn after Villanelle's initial cut. Apparently, you can really move even while bleeding prodigiously from both legs. The tussle that follows allows Eve to declare her true loyalty, no matter that Helene might know where Carolyn drove off to. She's Team Villanelle to the bone. She clumsily passes the assassin her knife, who uses it to slice her handler's throat. It's a nice little death. Too little from Eve. Too late, it seems. Villanelle again declares herself done with her. Helene is dead.
I hear Villanelle had a lucky escape.
What a relief.
So? We have a bath. You kiss me. And now you come to my hotel. What is it you want, Eve?
Where's Carolyn?
You always go, go, go. Ah! hurts. Let's go to
Where are you going? I'm done with you.
Our protagonist should be shit out of luck, except Yusuf. There's always Yusuf, toiling in the background, running plates, hacking mainframes, cleaning up pixelated images, etc. He discovers Carolyn booked her taxi with a credit card, and Eve uses the lead to trace her old boss all the way back to Carolina's papa's lakeside cabin, where they dispute a past that Eve doesn't know shit about. She calls Carolyn a liar, which, yeah, she is. Carolyn explains that she was undercover back when she was hanging out with the 12, which should be obvious. People can lie about some things and not others. This isn't about Kenny. Eve tells Carolyn as the grieving mother begs for one more evening with Lars to find out who killed her son. She's this close. Also, I kinda remember Eve saying a version of that was for Kenny when she shot Constantine in the hand, so I'm mildly confused by the reversal. Surely this is at least a little bit about Kenny? Guess not. Eve reneges on her promise to Carolyn almost immediately, barging into the cabin and shooting Lars just as he was telling Carolyn what a cute couple they used to make. Well done. Carolyn tells her, right, even in a moment of great disappointment, the 12 will just replace him. There's always another Lars, another Helene, always a new Carolyn to chase them, followed by another upstart like Eve, who thinks she knows best. It's a tricky moment to pass. Carolyn is right that the 12 will regenerate, but it is also true that if the goal is to shut them down, 40 years of mayhem demonstrates as decent evidence that the old methods don't work. Carolyn mentions that in the 70s, the 12's own goal was nebulous, cause chaos and see what happens. In a way, that's Eve's strategy now. Cause enough chaos that the whole system is destabilized. As it turns out, they don't have to choose. Eve can go on shooting people on sight, but Carolyn, with the address book tucked into Lars's waistband, can continue her regularly programmed spycraft. Villanelle continues to the wee northern isle where Constantine told her to find Gunn. She makes the final leg of the journey by rowboat, possibly on the same day she killed Helene, which is maybe the same day Gunn's arrow shot her. Europe is small, but not that small, Villanelle cheekily says. Hey, my back hurts, and they both lunge after each other. She and Gunn have a nice little fight scene, Villanelle at least slightly incapacitated by having been pierced in the back. They're getting to know each other really. Hand-to-hand combat is a form of small talk. By the end, the co-workers are laughing in the grass like kids, drunk on the freedom of living in a world without Helene to tell them who to kill and when to do it, but never why they have to.
C'est la vie que j'ai choisie. Façon de passage. Toi, tu es déjà là. On revient le matin. Tigane, de suivre les routes du monde au hasard. On ne va nulle part. Mais je ne crois pas qu'une vie aussi jeune installée quand je
Make it go, yes.